Level 1, the collapse. You weren't supposed to be here alone. The field hospital was staffed this morning. 2 surgeons, 3 orderlies, a nurse who hadn't slept in 48 hours. Now it's just you. The artillery came without warning. German shells tore through the clearing 10 minutes ago. High explosive. Standard World War I. Barrage tactic. Soften the rear lines. Break supply and medical support. It worked. The tent beside yours is gone. The supply wagon is burning. You can still hear someone screaming under debris, but you don't move. Because the man on your table will die first. His uniform is British, mud-streaked, torn open at the abdomen. You already know what you'll find inside. You weren't trained for this. No one was. World War I changed surgery faster than any war before it. Before this, most surgeons worked in clean hospitals, controlled environments, sterilized tools. Now you operate in mud. You operate by lantern. You operate while artillery recalibrates. You pick up your scalpel, and you don't hesitate, because hesitation is death here. You cut. The smell hits instantly. Blood, soil, and ruptured intestine. You clamp what you can. You've read about this. Abdominal wounds were almost always fatal early in the war. Infection spreads fast. No antibiotics yet. Not until penicillin, years later. You are buying time. That's all surgery is here. Time. The man's eyes lock onto yours. He knows. So do you. You stitch fast. Too fast. But speed matters more than perfection now. That's what the Royal Army Medical Corps learned by 1915. Speed saves more lives than precision. Outside, boots run past. Voices shout. And then you hear something worse than artillery. Silence. The barrage has stopped, which means something is coming. Level 2, the advance. You step outside and immediately understand. The line has shifted. The front is no longer where it was this morning. You see it in the distance. Figures moving through smoke. Too close. Too organized. Enemy infantry. This happens more than people think. In World War I, advances could swallow entire medical units before they could retreat. Field hospitals weren't always far behind the line. You are now behind enemy lines. You don't panic. Not yet. You drag a wounded soldier back into the tent. He's barely conscious. His tag reads triage red. Immediate surgery required. Triage, the system that defines everything here. It started during this war, prioritizing who lives, who waits, who dies. You don't treat everyone equally. You treat those who can still be saved. It sounds simple. It isn't. You look at him. Severe leg trauma. Shrapnel embedded deep. Massive blood loss. You could save him, maybe, but it will take time, and time is running out. You hear foreign voices now, closer, German. You've studied their procedures too. Their field medicine is advanced, comparable, efficient. If they find you, you don't know what happens. You look back at your patient. He whispers something. You lean closer. Don't leave me. Your hand tightens. This is the moment. This is where war rewrites you. You make your decision, and once it's made, there's no going back. Level 3, the choice. You don't operate. You cover him with a blanket. His eyes stay open as you turn away. This is triage, real triage, not the textbook version, the brutal one. The one where saving one man means abandoning another. The British Army formalized triage zones during the war, collecting stations, clearing stations, base hospitals. Each step filtered the wounded. Not everyone made it through. Now you are all 3 stations at once. You move to the next patient, a younger soldier, chest wound, breathing shallow but steady. This one you can save quickly. You work. You open the chest, not fully, just enough to relieve pressure. You've read about this too, improvised thoracic procedures, risky, experimental, but war forces innovation. You insert a drainage tube. He gasps, air escapes. His lungs expand again, alive. You move faster now. You don't think about the man under the blanket. You can't. Because if you do, your hands will slow. And slowing kills more people than bullets here. Outside, boots crunch closer. German voices now inside the perimeter. You freeze. Not out of fear, out of calculation. If they find a British surgeon alive, you might be useful, or you might not. And the difference between those 2 outcomes is razor thin. The tent flap shifts. Shadow crosses the entrance. And you realize you're not just treating patients anymore, you're negotiating survival. Level 4, the occupation. They don't shoot you. That surprises you. 3 German soldiers enter, rifles ready. One of them sees the operating table, sees your hands, sees the blood. He lowers his weapon slightly. Even in war, there are rules. The Geneva Conventions of 1864 and later revisions protected medical personnel. Not perfectly, not always followed, but known. You are technically neutral. Technically. An officer steps in behind them. Older, calm, observant. He speaks. You don't understand everything, but you catch one word clearly. Arzt. Doctor. You nod. Slowly. He gestures to the wounded around you, then to the distance. More incoming. Not British. German. This is how it shifts. You are no longer a British surgeon. You are just a surgeon. They bring in their wounded. You don't resist, because medicine in war is complicated. You took an oath before any uniform, and now that oath is being tested harder than ever. You treat them. Same speed, same precision, same detachment, because pain doesn't wear a flag. Hours pass. Your hands don't stop. The officer watches you the entire time, measuring something, not your skill, your loyalty. And then he asks you something that changes everything. Not with a threat, but with an expectation. You realize you're about to cross a line you can't uncross. Level 5, the line. He wants you to stay, not as a prisoner, as a surgeon, behind enemy lines, for them. This isn't unheard of. In World War I, captured medical personnel were sometimes required to treat enemy wounded. It was practical, efficient, but it comes with a cost. You are no longer just surviving. You are participating. You look at your hands, still shaking, still covered in blood that doesn't belong to one side anymore. You think about the man under the blanket, the one you left. Would he understand this? Would anyone? The officer waits, no rush, because he knows your situation better than you do. You have no escape route, no backup, no way to rejoin your unit. Your skills are your only leverage. You nod. Just once. And that's it. The decision is made. You are now the only surgeon operating behind enemy lines. Not by force, by choice. They give you supplies, better ones than before. German field kits were well equipped. Sterilization tools, proper instruments, organized systems. You notice the difference immediately. Efficiency, structure. It almost feels like a real hospital again. Almost. But something inside you shifts, because now every life you save strengthens the enemy. Every stitch, every incision, every success has consequences beyond the table. You push it down, you focus on the work. Because if you start thinking about that, you won't be able to continue. And stopping is not an option anymore. Collab Vol 6, the transformation. Days blur, you lose track of time. That happens in war, especially in medical units. There is no day or night, only waves of wounded. You adapt, faster than you thought possible. You learn German medical terms. You understand their commands. You anticipate injuries before they even reach the table. This is what World War I did to surgeons. It forced rapid evolution. Techniques improved under pressure. Blood transfusion methods advanced. Though still primitive, early transfusions began to appear more frequently by 1917. You try one, direct donor to patient. Risky, uncertain. It works. The soldier lives. They look at you differently now, not as a captured enemy, as an asset. Something valuable, something necessary. And that scares you more than anything, because value keeps you alive. But it also binds you here. You start making decisions faster, colder, cleaner. You don't hesitate anymore. Not when choosing who to save. Not when choosing who to let go. That part of you, it's gone now. Replaced by something sharper, more efficient, less human. And then one day, they bring in someone who breaks everything. Level 7, the mirror. He's wearing your uniform. British, alive, barely. Shrapnel across the torso. Severe bleeding. He won't last long without immediate surgery. The room goes quiet. All eyes on you. The officer watches, Again, always watching. This is the test, not spoken, but understood. If you save him, you are helping your own, but you are also defying the system you've become part of. If you don't, you prove your loyalty, at a cost you may never recover from. The soldier looks at you. Recognition flickers. He knows who you are, what you've become. You feel it. For the first time in days, you hesitate. Your hands stop. Your hands stop. Your mind races. Every decision you've made leads to this moment, this single point, where everything collides. Duty, survival, identity. You pick up the scalpel, and you realize this isn't about medicine anymore. It never was. Ending the cycle, you make your move, the same way you did at the beginning. Fast, decisive, no hesitation, because that's who you are now. The lantern flickers again, the same way it did on your first day. Same light, same shadows, different man. Outside, the guns start once more. Another barrage, another shift, another collapse waiting to happen. Somewhere out there, another surgeon is still with their unit, still believes they won't be alone, still thinks the rules will hold. You know better now, because you've seen what happens when the line disappears. When uniforms stop mattering. When survival rewrites everything you thought you were. Footsteps approach the tent. New wounded. New choices. You wipe your hands. Pick up the scalpel. And as the flap opens, you don't even ask which side they're on anymore. Because that question stops meaning anything. The moment you answered it the first time,